It's time to smooth our mesh for the actual final game mesh. And we're going to then double check the UVs, rig it, and animate it. So in order to smooth it, we don't want to have the smoothing algorithm on with the 3 key. That's just display smoothing. I want to have the regular low poly version here. So I save the low poly version out over here. And when I grab the model here, we're just going to make sure everything's selected. We're ready to go. Make sure it's named. Make sure you've done the due diligence here. Freeze it. Delete its history. Make sure there isn't anything hanging out in the channel layer for this. Yeah, I keep my UI. It just keeps getting messed up. I don't know why, but yeah. So I undo that. You see, I had the crease tool on there and some other stuff, but I think the inputs on the crease are still there, so maybe we'll leave that. This is all zeroed out for the translate and rotate should all be 0. Scale should be 1. So that's your standard game ready mesh. Feet are touching the ground. 0, 0, 0 world space. Check that it's symmetrical. If you have a symmetrical character, feet are on the ground. Looks like there might be off the ground a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. Let's fix that. Grab all those vertices, scale them all down flat. Switch to the move tool, hold down X and snap. There. That is going to be no floaty feet, right? Avoid floaty feet. And we'll see on the object mode here, there's not, just moving those vertices is not an input, so it's okay. And everything is still frozen there, so it's okay. Although neurotically, it's still freeze and delete history just to avoid all those errors. It's all good. You'll see over here also I took the feet and they're very linear, very L-shaped in the front. And so the way to fix that is to get a little bit more relaxed pose, is to go into vertex mode, grab all the vertices, turn on B, soft select, crank the B key way up on there. I'm going to also double check that symmetry is on object X still. You can hold down D, and then I'm going to find that central point right at the pivot at the middle of the foot. Hold down D and then V to snap to the vertex, right? Grab that little control circle in the middle, very carefully bring it to the center of the fulcrum of the heel, like that. Switch to rotate. Now you see I have, when I held down B for my soft select, I made sure it went all the way up to the top of the leg. So that way it's going to have a nice smooth faded fall off. So as I move the feet, is a nice little, whoops, I'm just on the green. See, it just pivots back and forth. Tap your toes, tap, tap. But seriously, you want to just, they were perfectly straight, this L linear shape. You want to get away from it. You want to have them just relax out just a tiny bit. Just like that. It makes a huge difference. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to relax the elbow. We're going to relax the arm and the hand. So we'll go up here and up here to the top, hold down D and then V. Put it right and align it right at that edge right there. And then hold down D again. Grab the arrow and get it right in the middle. And actually where we want it to bend is back here at the elbow. So I'll hold down D again and align it right there. Okay, so that is going to be the bend point. So if I bend this slightly, you see bending in. And maybe the soft select is on too high. So let's get all of the rest of these vertices selected where I want the elbow bend to be. Okay. Everything selected. Hold down D and click right on that vertex. That's the tip of my elbow. And then hold down B, middle mouse drag out just so it goes and fades in a little bit. And that way, as I crease, you see it is indeed bending right there. Okay, so let's turn off soft select for a minute and let's just bend it by itself. Just a tiny bit. Turn soft select back on. Let it bend in. Just a hair. Okay, it makes a giant difference. You need to get a relaxed pose. It's the biggest mistake I see for beginning character modelers. You might have a beautiful model, but it's just so stiff. And if it's super stiff and unreal and unnatural looking for an organic character, it's very obvious. Let's get the shoulder. D, align it right. Top of that vertex. Looks like I got the edge, not the vertex. I want the vertex. D and align it right there. Okay, You can hit B, soft select off and on. Let's turn it on for a moment, and then middle mouse drag out. See, it's still using that central point down there. Darn it, let's open it with. Gonna push it in. Now we don't want to push in that armpit though, so turn soft select off and let it crumple in just a little tiny bit. We want to exaggerate, maybe get the rest of these guys here, and do it again. Line it right on that vertex point. Look, I got that edge again. There we go. Just enough. Maybe bring that shoulder back. Just an itty bitty tiny bit. See how the fingers are already curled? I did that very quickly during the class demo. That's a nice relaxed finger pose for your hands, right? So we can grab the hands here and we could maybe look at that and we could maybe bring them down a little bit like that. And I would push the clothing and the cuffs in the sculpting program. I wouldn't do that much in. But now he's been given just air of relaxation. Click on that one, hit B, maybe pull the shoulder out. Tiny bit, nice big, soft select, just push out. And what's nice is all your UVs are staying put. You know, you're not messing up your UV. Do these little soft adjustments like that. Here, that fanned out. Maybe I wasn't really quite happy how that was fanning out. Depends on what you, but you do want to be conscious of a relaxed pose. And this stuff mostly I would do in sculpting app, but this is a good time to show you. Definitely the feet is why the feet were so, when the feet are L, like hard hockey puck or hockey stick, rigid looking, that's really unnatural. And you want those, most riggers will tell you they want a tiny bend or the elbow so it knows which way is the forward for when we do the FK IK switch, which we'll talk about when we do the rigging. But that should be good to go. And if I check my channel box, you can see still a poly crease on there. It should be all right. I'll freeze it again. And let's go ahead and smooth this guy. So in order to smooth the model, we want to make sure it's not smooth in the display setting, right? So make sure you're on your actual low poly. That we have the crease on there still. And I'm going to go up here to edit mesh. And sorry, mesh, not edit mesh. Go to mesh, and it's right there, smooth. Go to settings, smooth box. There's a bunch of settings in here. I won't get into all the details for now. You just do a regular one on the how it is defaulted. We could talk about how to propagate UV corners, smooth triangles, preserving edges and corners. You want sharp edges and corners. Yeah, preserve edges and corners. Preserve edges. Maya, Cat, McCall. Each of these are worth looking up. Let's hit apply. Just one subdivision, right? We just want to go times 4. So triangles, 5,000. It should be just over 20,000. So if we hit apply, you'll see, there we go. And you see those little orange lines are kept on there. So it kept those edges for us. Should be good. You can see what it does with triangles now in the subdivision, right? And just go ahead and close. And there we go. We now have a smoothed version, game ready version of our model. And after you smooth it, like I said, every quad is subdivided twice. There's a couple edges we don't need in the middle of the cuffs. So let's just optimize a tiny bit. I'm going to go in here and oh, by the way, if we smooth it one time and click on that and turn soft select off, look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful high res mesh. Looks like it could be in a little animated short. Right, Shrivas? This was your character from class for the quick demo. Pipe shoving still going okay. Should check that out up in there. Make sure that's working okay. Make sure there isn't any artifacts, any holes. If you didn't weld your vertices, those subdivisions for the triangles are doing all right. But the ones that are most wasteful, we got to get rid of this extra edge right here. In between this one here, this one, if the edge is in between, the magic rule, golden rule, between 3 vertex points. So there's 3 vertex points here. 1, 2, 3. When you have the crease tool on, between any 3 points on an organic form, there must be a change in direction. It must be an arc. It cannot be perfectly linear. So what we do is after we crease it, we double click that, control backspace, get rid of that extra edge. It doesn't do anything. Double click that one. Boy, did I have symmetry on Object X? I do. Okay, good. Just double check. At this point, you want to be really careful and methodical. Don't need that one. You leave the one in the middle of the hood. Don't need this one back here. Double click, control backspace. And yeah, smooth it, unsmooth it. We don't need that one either. Not really gonna do much for us, is it? The hands, see, hands are nice. This one right here, definitely. Control backspace, don't need that one. That was the one that does the least work. Same thing in our medallion. This one, nope. This one, double click, nope. You can, if we want to go check out the medallion by itself, isolate it, F on the keyboard, the back. We could have optimized it, maybe done it on its own without adding a smoothing algorithm, but that's okay. And the eyes, that's wasteful. So in hindsight, I would have not attached the eyes, and the medallion, I would have maybe given it more subdivisions to begin with, so that way it had a good rounded without the facets. But look at our sleeves. Good. Gonna bend really nicely, and this is why you don't want to model all those polygons for your first character. You want to let the smoothing algorithm do the work for you. This is gonna bend beautifully inside of AccuRig or Mixamo. So we have that going on there now. Ready to rock and roll. This has to go. Tweak, poly, delete edge. Yes, now we want to delete freeze for transforms, delete the history, go in here to object mode, go F5 on the keyboard. The dark blue designates there is still a crease tool in effect, so the crease tool stays even after you delete the history. That's interesting to note. So if we wanted to smooth it one time, smooth it. You see it's holding the edges pretty well. Those edges might just be the double click that. Go to crease tool and middle mouse drag. Yeah, okay, so you still can go back in if you want the crease tool to hold up. Or animating in Maya, you can still go in here and crease these even harder. And we'll go ahead and do that for, let's just do front of the hood. Let's actually get rid of this crease right here. I want that. That all the way to the left, there we go. And we do want the outer one though. Here, maybe that back. Tighten that. We do want the medallion decrease all the way, so I'm just dragging it all the way to the right, and especially in the inside. Medallion right in here. Double click. Ah, I missed one. That one's a waste. It's easy to miss, so just do your thing. Be clean and methodical about it. Border around the bottom of the shoe if you want the sole to have a crease on it. That wouldn't hurt as well. Back. I missed the back. You gotta remember your quad extrusion one will almost always need 4 double click, not just a single double click. Go. Showing you how that works. And then if I wanted to crease that in some more to have an edge of the boot, or just leave them for now. What's one of my favorite games of all time, Journey? They don't have feet hardly. It's just a little fix. Yeah. So let's see, click on them again, go back. So this before and afters, you can barely tell now. Okay. You just see there's a little bit of jagged edges. It's a silhouette. It's where you could see right here on the edge, where the shading is different. And then if you smooth it, now you can really see some nice clean geometry. But we're going up to from 20,000. To 300,000. So it's really subdividing, and 20,000 triangles is plenty, or 10,000 faces. If you want to multiply it again, you could. but I would not recommend it. A little unnecessary. Okay, so poly crease is on there. So now if we do it again, freeze and the history, go in here and see anything's happening at all in 1 and 2. It is holding up the edge of the cowl pretty well, so it does keep the crease tool, it looks like, in there. So if we go Alt 5, you can see the dark blue. That is the crease tool. That is not the UV seams holding up, even though the history. Duly noted, Maya. Thank you. Beautiful. We like him. He's ready to rock and roll. Let's do it. All right, so he's ready to go. So we're going to go in here and to paint him. We're going to rig him. We're going to animate him. We're going to load him into the game, where I will load an animation here in Maya as well. And that is our game and animation ready character. So let's go ahead and make another copy. So here's our super low poly base mesh. There's the smooth one time. Have him at 5,000 triangles. We got him at 20,000 triangles. And then if I did another smooth one over here and hit 3 on the keyboard, you'll see this one is at 327,000 triangles. So if I hit F5 on the keyboard, you see the little subtle differences. See the little jagged edges right in here. So, how round you want things to be, what they're going to look like is really your call. Ben, there's the bruising going on in there. There are some other things we could do, I suppose, here for the edges. So if I want to go to these edges right here, and for purposes of the edges here, we could go and start hardening up some edges like that. And now if I, that was under display meshes. I'm sorry, I did that really fast. Mesh display. You want to harden the edge even more. There you go. Now you get a crisper edge around the edge. I don't typically do that with clothing. Maybe in the back here around the eyelids, maybe that one right there. Go mesh display, harden the edge. There we go. And you see the lighting now. When the lighting the normal direction, that's the direction the light bounces off the edge. For light angle bounces, that will make a bit of a difference for how smooth those edges are. And let's see if even needed over here. Sure. Here. And yeah, even with the crease tool, that's how it deforms, right? With the up here, but the mesh display, the actual hardened edges, those are the normal edges. Those do come across, so I think it's worth doing these guys here. Double click, mesh display, hardened edge. Hard edge, oh, the medallion. Yes, hard surface objects we haven't talked about yet, but most definitely things made of metal. That even metal things, oftentimes the edge is slightly beveled, slightly not totally sharp. But we go here, hardened edge on that one as well. And if you can't really see it, then cool. Go right here, play, hardened edge, and then the soles of the shoe. Again, 4 double clicks for those 3-way intersections at the bottom right there. Mesh display, hardened edge, and that's pretty good. I guess we could have done that over the hardened edge on this. I would at least hardened edge right here. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense there. And at the base. If G on the keyboard, redo last command. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm sure there's a rhyme or reason. Oh man. Got the one in here. Ah, I missed another edge. Control backspace. Don't click control backspace. So if I put this on the checklist, maybe that'd be harder. Hard net. There we go. Yeah. the edge of the cuff seam in the back part at least. The top part's going to round off naturally for cloth, but not inside as much. So let's go ahead and do our here G. There we go. Click off of it, and now you see it's doing edges. A little bit more hardened edges with the normal edges under the mesh display, and that should come across in our final. So there's more stuff right here though. So again, freeze, delete history, constant. If we go and smooth it again, this would now become our ready. If this one here, delete them. This one, Control D, deselect, move it over, and then 3, smooth that one. So that's our now our comparison. So then there again is the edges along there, perfectly smooth here. Difference between animation and gaming, most part. These faces here, if I wanted to smooth all these out, we could go in here and mesh display and soften those. That. So you got to get the effect you want for your character. What's important, what stands out, what's going to look. And, you know, we haven't even sculpted this yet. This is just pure vertex push. Yeah. I was upset I missed those little extra. The ones in between the cuffs, you really don't want those extra edges. Those are just... But everything else, you know, we can, if they're in there, sell something. Okay, let's go ahead and export them. So I'm going to go File, Export Selection. Name this my hoodie duty. Duddy underscore 01, and we'll export him as an FBX export. Go into the scenes folder. Although if you want to make a separate exports folder in your project, you can. Leave them inside of our scenes folder for right now. And the details on here, this is rather important. You want to include the geometry. It should have, if you have smoothing groups or smooth mesh already on here, the defaults, I think you can leave the smoothing groups. Why don't we go ahead and turn it on, see what we get. To get rid of no animation yet, not baking the animation, no cameras yet, no lights, no audio, and embed media. If you have the texture map on there, yes, you want to have that on there. So I'm going to say that. Leave the FBX as default. I believe we're still, units should be automatic. Axis conversion should be Y up. That's Maya, the UI. Here's the FBX file format. We've left it, hasn't been updated. They kept screwing with things every time they updated FBX. It was having a lot of problems, so we're still stuck back at FBX 2020, and hopefully it stays that way for a while. It's a binary, not a ASCII. Leave it as binary that can be opened up and actually read. ASCII you can't decipher unless you have a computer. Okay, go ahead and export the selection. Good to go. And if we wanted to put materials on this character, we'll go up here to the material editor, and we'll just make a couple default materials. So the first one here, we have the Blinn Eye Iris. I have some other ones from the other human-based mesh. There's the Fong. I'm not really sure hands and feet, so I'll just go up here, and we'll just use the regular old Blinn. So they're Blinn number 4. And we'll call this one duty cloth underscore do MAT. Have the names and everything copy. And then for this one, duty, we'll go to face mode, double click, and we can right click on this and assign to selection. There you go. See, it has a slight shine to it. We can go into its properties and change the color and sandy brown color, something like that. So he's really shiny still. Doesn't need the specular Just see, soften it up. You just put a solid color on it. I'm just playing around. If we wanted the cuffs and the seams to be some sort of different color, we could do that as well. The skin on the hand, so that's hoodie doody. MAT, that is for the hood, so we'll kind of copy that and we'll do it. Blend number 5, and we'll call this one hoodie doody for skin, SKIN, MAT. This one again doesn't really need the intensity, doesn't need any intensity for the specular shading fall off, and we're going towards PBR, so whatevs, we'll kind of talk about that here. There's a little pink ish and natural. We're all different shades of yellow orange, red orange, just darker, lighter. It's not really that many darker. Then just double click on the skin. Go down here. I'll just leave and then we'll change color for after we have that selected. In right mouse button, assign a material. Make sure you've double clicked those faces. Go to object mode. He has colors here. So we have the eyes, the medallion, and the leggings, we'll call them. So we'll do another one. We'll go blend one more. Lambert's a flat one. I'm just going all blends with this guy for now. Let's get into materials later in the semester. We'll call this one Alien. Or MAT, and then for this one, let's go give it something like gonna stand out, some kind of like red. Go to face mode, double click the faces, F to zoom in if you want to closer, and Diddy medallion. Make sure you have all the faces. Right click, assign material to selection. There we go. So medallion's different. Eyes, both of them are selected. Go to blend. Savings, dang student shaves constantly getting in the way. So this is the blend number 7. Paste the name, hoodie diddy for eyes. Material, and we'll make his eyes. Have him glow. Super, some magical, mystical, like some crystal blue, glowy color. That one, I guess we could. Yes, double click on the eyes. Go, and there's the eye color, eye material selection, and there it is. There was a iridescence bump, ray tracing, advancement property. Color common properties. Yeah, oh, here we go. Incandescence. If you want it to glow, that'll work on there. And go down here to his leggings, so to speak. And for those, it might be easiest to grab them in editor. So there's times the editor. Grab his feet. You can grab them by shells. That's pretty handy. So you can grab different faces of the model and different material IDs, which is definitely useful. So take the hoodie doody eye color. Wait a minute. Oh, blend IO. Up on that. Yeah, I thought I had something that the eye over here. Cloth material. right click on that, or after we have it highlighted, we can go edit and we can create the whole with the shading network. Just got the color around, so you know. You know what? I'm just gonna update. There's blend number 8. Base hoodie ditty leggings material. Leggings material. Maybe we'll do like a super like off, very very desaturated, maybe darker, and this one should have like 0 electricity on it. Go, and then double click just the legs and the leggings color. Yeah. So yeah, selecting individual faces that are connected, that are sealed and welded to the object, and giving them different colors, that works. So yeah, there he goes. Skin, his leggings, his medallion, his eyes all have different materials on them. So went through just applying materials just based on some colors on there, and you just assign solid colors, just a blend material for now. We'll have a segment just. And so double check here, go to move again, check there's no more inputs on there. Good to go. I should name him, hit F on the keyboard in here. In base UV, we'll call him D underscore or mesh. Copy that, file, export selection. And now if we export the selection and let's save over this one and we have embed media on, it's going to keep the materials IDs for all that. So export that, replace it, yes. Then I'm going to do one more. Let's get the OBJ too, just in case you can how that works. So file, export selection, box, export selection, and call them hoodie. Mesh. And instead of FBX this time, we'll just okay. Go and export. Okay, and he's good to go. Here we are in Mixamo. Looks like it's having some loading issues with the internet today. And I went ahead to the hoodie having too much fun saying that, and FBX file, and I zipped it up. So you can go here and upload character, and then just drag and drop if you want the materials and texture maps to show up, you have to zip it. So just a weird computer. Find out. Go and give it a moment. There's Eddie Diddy, and you'll find if you didn't do the embed media and have the materials identified, put on the faces and the individual pieces, you will have a character with no color, no texture maps. Okay, so the chin, we'll give him a generic chin. I guess we'll do the chin like up. He may be a problem with the empty head. We'll see. The wrists are going to be way out here, outside the sleeves, and he's going to bend and deform funny with the cloak. So just like see that crease? See, I can see where the crease is. That helps a lot identify exactly where the tip of the elbow is. It's hard to see otherwise. His knees are going to be out there. I'm going to put him just below. And the groin will be hard to see, so just eyeball it for now. Leave it at standard skeleton 65. Go next. This may or may not work. We're going to see how problematic the hood is with this guy. And we're back. Huzzah. Look at that. Not too shabby. So yeah, putting the chin up above the cowl, I think that's good. It left the neck for the robe and shoulder some region to bend. And you can see here it's doing a little bit of a hard flex around the back of the shoulders under the back side of the hood. Interesting. The elbows are bending pretty well. Fingers look great. End of the sleeves. At the knee here, the bottom of the robe, it's doing a little hard crease right there for the legs. So not perfect, but for free rigging with no like real work, it took us 2 minutes. It's pretty awesome. Think about it, what you're getting out of the deal. And so you want the T-pose, you want to get the skin weights and the skeleton and download those. Same thing we did earlier with the first 4 lessons, and I think the 5th one we went into Mixamo and dropped that down. And I'm gonna go through here and pick some animations. So capoeira, Pax Fun, Roomba dancing, and the way it's rigged, like some of these are just going to be absolutely horrible, but it's okay. It's like I said, it's free. It's kind of just a fun, drunken walk, dancing twerk. Let's just go idle. So you want to idle in a walk pose, right? Those would be the most common ones. So just give them a nice simple idle stance and see how that works.